Things just took a major turn as we have multiple Toronto Blue Jays updates to go over today, including a huge update surrounding Vladimir Guerrero Jr. following what was a scary injury in yesterday's game. We're going to break that down, but also discuss some imminent reinforcements on the way for the Jays, and also some aftermath surrounding the Tommy Pham Tyler Heineman bench clearing incident that happened yesterday. And Tommy Pham took to Twitter and not only said some of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen a player say following a game, but Addison Berger catching some random strays. You're going to want to stay tuned to the end of the video for that. There's a ton of craziness going on before you into it all. If you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for for daily Jays kind of every single day, rather. Thank you guys again for your support. Folks, a lot to go over today, and this is an absolutely wild, it passed, I guess, 12 hours. I mean, following the game last night, a bunch of stuff happened. Tommy Pham took to Twitter. Craziness. What I'm going to start with is the good news here, folks. And I covered this in yesterday's video saying that it is official, and now it is officially happening this Friday. So Shane Bieber will make his debut on Friday, and obviously, this is fantastic news for the Toronto Blue Jays. This is fantastic news for Shane Bieber. He also spoke out and said he's feeling really good. He feels determined, and he is ready to go. But this is good news. And again, I had a full video covering it yesterday, so obviously, feel free to check that one out after you watch this one in its entirety if you're curious. But adding Shane Bieber now means one big thing. You're adding a former Cy Young winner, but also you're going to need to make a subsequent move now to open up space for Shane Bieber. And the Jays did not commit to who that's going to be. So it could be, moving out of a starter. It could be someone out of the bullpen. That's yet to be seen. I'm assuming we'll see that Thursday or maybe even, today or tomorrow, depending on when that happens. But we do know for sure, ladies and gentlemen, is that this rotation is now going to feature Shane Bieber. And out of the guys you could potentially move, out, it could be a, José Berríos situation on the IL if he's injured. There's Tommy Nance, there's Mason Fluharty, and obviously there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. But I mean, we're hoping Vladdy, of course, misses an IL stint. That can maybe open up a spot, but you'd still be, clustered with pitchers. But yeah, Shane Bieber is officially back, and it is very, very good news here. And I'm super excited to watch him on Friday against the Marlins, like I said in my video yesterday. Now, obviously, in yesterday night's game against Paul Skeens, the Jays lost. It was a pretty rough game, just a weird one. Tons of errors, tons of sloppy baseball. And of course, the big storyline of the entire day is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. getting hurt. Now, we got a report from Hazel May and an update after the game. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will have an MRI tonight to rule everything out. So he has officially been, diagnosed with a hamstring. Tightness is the official words. You can see here, he felt his hamstring after the splits at first base. He's going for an MRI tonight, John Schneider said. Hopefully he's good to go in the next day or two, but obviously he's really important, and he will have an MRI tonight. And for now, according to Keegan Matheson, it sounds more precautionary. So it's good and bad news. The bad news is, people tend to overreact a little bit. Like, Vladdy is a beast. He plays literally every single game. So if he's leaving a game, that's where the concern comes in. And obviously, you're at a point now where you cannot afford to miss any of these star players. You're in the middle of an AL East hunt. Luckily, once again, the Red Sox lost yesterday, so the Jays are in good standing, still 5 games up in the AL East. But he's going to get an MRI. Now, we'll probably get another update today, potentially an update tomorrow, depending on, if he's obviously in the lineup tonight or not. But we're going to hope the MRI comes back clean and comes back negative. But one of the bigger things about that is John Schneider said hopefully he's good to go in the next day or two. So I think this seems more precautionary than anything. And there was a lot of, yesterday's game, of course, during the broadcast, they had Dan Shulman and, of course, Joe Siddall at this point. Shout out to Buck Martinez as well, who wasn't there. He's, recovering and taking a little bit of a break. But, they saw Vladdy in the first inning pointing to what was apparently his hamstring. But according to John Schneider himself, that wasn't what caused the incident. It was the split. So there was a chance, of course, that it was something before. And then, of course, the splits, hurt it a little bit more, maybe activated the pain. At the end of the day, hopefully the MRI is clean, and hopefully he's in the lineup today. Like, I'm looking for him to pitch against, or rather hit against the pitcher Mitch Keller tonight. If not, at the very least by the end of the series, I'm really just hoping we can avoid another injury. The Jays have been, plagued with a lot of injuries as of late, and the last guy you'd want to get injured is by far your best hitter right now, and that is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's been on an absolute tear. But I don't think he's going to play tonight. They'll probably give him a break anyway. I would assume he's going to play tomorrow, but as soon as the MRI results come in, we'll, of course, have a video, or I will rather, covering here on the channel. But again, precautionary. If you watch the post-game interview, he seemed on the more positive side, and the Jays officials did not indicate at what point he felt discomfort or the severity, but they ultimately did come out and say it was after the splits at first base. The severity is still, to be seen, but it is left hamstring. tightness. So it's they're going to evaluate him today, and hopefully today he'll be able to play in today's game or tomorrow's game, obviously depending on how things go on that front. But let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. Super scary, and I'm still holding my breath. Like if you lose Vladdy for any extended period of time here, you're going to have to tread water in the AL East. And again, you have a nice 5-game cushion. The Jays have done great. You're going to have to also step up now against the Pirates and win the next two. You kind of get a pass to Paul Skeens game. They got to him a bit early, didn't get to the bullpen. Offense was pretty, lackadaisical. The defense was lackadaisical. Everything was lazy. It was bad. Benches clearing, not brawl, but semi-brawl. Everything that happened yesterday, that game is a wash. Whether Vladdy's healthy or not today, you have to go out and take care of business. It's not a very good Tigers team, not a good Pirates team, and you have, obviously you're competing with the Tigers for atop the AL and in that top 2 seeding to advance to the ALDS and get the bye. But let me know down below. Probably overall good news here is that it seems like it's just going to be precautionary, but we won't know for sure till later today. Now, I want to dive into a couple different things here. Now, of course, yesterday we saw the Tyler Heineman, Tommy Pham, all that stuff, and John Schneider came out after, and this was a big thing, so I'm going to break it all down. He said on the bench to clear and brawl that I'm not worried about Tommy Pham's opinion on anything. I may have been saying Nance, I mean Tommy Pham, opinion on anything really. I'm worried about our defense. I'm worried about our at-bats. And this is obviously true. Like Tommy Pham seems like a bit of a, obviously he's a hothead. But it came out that Heineman didn't say anything to Tommy Pham after he bat flipped a walk in the 7th, and that Pham didn't say anything to him. Heineman says that Pham simply stared and started walking towards him. It was weird, man. It was weird, unprovoked, and super weird. And this stirred up a ton of conversation on Twitter about Tommy Pham, about Tyler Heineman, all these different things. But obviously, in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't matter. But it's fun to talk about because Tommy Pham came out and went on Twitter and said some, I don't know what the word would be, wild things. I will warn you, it has some profanity. I'm not going to say the profanity, but, if you have kids around or anything like that, it's going to be on the screen, just full transparency for you guys. So you can see here, he says, arguing about a ball not being, and this is in response to a Keegan Matheson tweet here. You can see here. So Keegan Matheson basically said, again, I have no idea, barely know who he is. That's what Tyler Heineman said about Tommy Pham. And Tommy Pham goes to Twitter late at night yesterday and goes, complaining about a ball not being held a strike to the umpire when it's clearly below the zone in a way is disrespectful not only to the umpires, but the hitter as well. So like I said, when I flip the bat, F him, at Keegan Matheson, dude has 2 years in the show, I know the zone. So that is an interesting thing to say. If you talk about Tyler Heineman, he has more than 2 years in the show, but he basically admitted that nothing was said to, Tyler Heineman didn't say anything like bad to Tommy Pham, but for some reason he was mad and he took it to Twitter. Tommy Pham's, I think it's a little bit silly. I don't know really what he's even getting on with here, but at the end of the day, like the Jays are competing for an AL East. Tommy Pham is bat flipping walks with a sub 700 OPS. So who's really, winning here at the end of the day? It's probably the Toronto Blue Jays. And also Tyler Heineman has had a way better season than Tommy Pham has, but this is where things got a little bit wild. You could see here a response from, I guess, Addison Berger, son, an Addison Berger fan on Twitter. He said, oh my God, if Pham raises his OPS to 698, oh my God. And he responds basically accusing Addison. Now, this tweet was deleted as well, so there was people posting screenshots of it. Maybe if I had, you can see some things here from profile pic. From what I heard, the OPS would be up 100 more points. And he's talking about TUE. He's talking about steroids. So he's basically saying that he's heard that Addison Berger, because Addison Berger's in the profile, is on steroids. Now, this sparked a debate that is, I don't know why Addison Berger's getting caught, getting random strays here. Whether or not, and there's been some rumblings on Twitter and some things about how he took steroids, Addison Berger in 2019, 2021. I think 2019 he did and got suspended for it. But I don't know if Tommy Pham mixed him up with Aurelvis Martinez, thinking that at the big league level he got banned for steroids, or that he thinks that Addison Berger is still on steroids now. He is not on steroids now. He did a few years ago. But randomly, Tommy Pham is going crazy on Twitter. And usually I wouldn't give this stuff the light of day, but it's blowing up everywhere. And it's a little bit ludicrous to see him say that, especially because at the end of the day, he bat flipped a walk and then started talking to Tyler Heineman, even though Tyler Heineman didn't do anything. He complained to the umpire. Weird situation, very weird. Just hill to die on as someone who's had a pretty, interesting career and a very bad season this year. It all stemmed from that, but I love to see John Schneider standing up and saying he doesn't care about Tommy Pham or what he has to say, and I don't either, but it's fun to talk about. And also, I don't know why Addison Berger is getting random strays from about, his PED use, which apparently he actually did in 2019 for those curious. But I mean, he obviously doesn't now. He's a fantastic player. He's developed, worked very hard, and now he's a very, very good Blue Jays player. So obviously we're not going to get weird. Let me know down below if you think this is as weird as I do. Like, this is just so weird. I'm pretty sure Tommy Pham went on Twitter and literally typed in his name to see all these tweets. I can't imagine they would have came up, on his own feed. So going out and searching his own name is interesting behavior after, winning a ball game, but it is what it is. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. See you guys later.